I think the problem most people have today is that they're living life on easy mode.
My name is Adam Sachnoff. My nickname is Big Red. I'm from San Francisco, born and raised in the Bay Area. I run 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu San Mateo.
Drive, Dan, drive. 10 fingers, Satch, 10 fingers, finish it. Yes, Adam. Hold it, Adam, hold it, Adam.
I missed a Big Red's first match, but apparently he jumped the shit out of somebody. Did you watch it? I don't know. Good? You get it on video? Try to get ear to ear, Adam. Over. That's nothing. Okay, let's go, kid.
So yeah, I would say probably like from the very first class, I felt like I was hooked on jiu-jitsu. I've always kind of had like an addictive personality, whether it was like video games, playing like World of Warcraft, like 8 hours a day. I actually like wasn't able to go to like a 4-year college because of that, or like just like eating and drinking too much to the point I was like close to 300 pounds by the time I was 19. Jiu-jitsu was like the first positive addiction that that I came across, and so pretty much after my first class I was pretty much all in for that. So there's probably like a few key points in my life where I wanted to open up a school, like important things that helped me get to where I am today. I would say the first one is like just the first class and just being like, man, like just after training, just how I felt and just being like, I want to feel like this every day. I want to pursue this and have this be a career. I didn't even know what it looked like at first. I was like, maybe it'll be competing, like, oh, like I'm gonna go to the Olympics or whatever. I'm gonna compete at the highest level, and then it eventually kind of morphed over into wanting to run my own school. But yeah, the first thing was when I met my first coach, Denny Procopos. He was actually the same age as me, and he already had a successful school, and he was pretty much, living his dream already, living my dream already. And so when I was able to see someone that I can kind of see myself in a little bit and see that, oh, this is like a real possibility. This kid's like 19 years old and he's already doing what I want to do. So that was the first thing. Then the second thing was after I won my first tournament, I shared my goals, my aspiration with my coach Denny. And he was just super positive, just like reaffirmed me, told me how awesome it was. So those were my goals, that he would totally help me with that, and that I could definitely, make that happen. And then the third thing would be winning Blue Belt Worlds, like winning like an actual like big tournament. That just like gave me like a really big confidence boost. And then I would say the fourth thing is actually kind of like, so those are all high points, but another part was like a low point. This is probably like 4 or 5 years into my jiu-jitsu career. I just had my first major surgery. I had ACL reconstruction. The surgery like really wasn't going well. I was like financially, I was like struggling. I had a bunch of credit card debt. I had this like bum leg that like wasn't healing up. And by this point, like I had pursued jiu-jitsu just like as like a career, and I invested everything that I had into it. So I was kind of just comparing myself to a lot of my other friends and kind of doubting my choices. And I noticed that they were like, they were all like graduating from college, they were all like starting their careers and starting to make money, and here I was in debt with like a bum leg And I was kind of like, man, like I've invested a lot into this and I haven't got anything back. Like I have to see a return on my investment. And I think it was at that low point that I was like, I gotta make a good shot at actually pursuing this as a career. So, I opened up my school shortly after recovering from my knee surgery. So yeah, why don't we just start with the obvious easy ones, we get those out of the way. Fitness, self-defense, confidence. I'd say those are like kind of like obvious things that you get from like martial arts. I would say the main benefit, especially what people probably aren't thinking of as a benefit, I would argue that this is the most important benefit, but it's also the number one reason why people actually like will give up or quit, is the struggle, discomfort, and adversity that you're gonna have to go through when you're training jiu-jitsu. So I think we have like a modern issue in today's society, and I'm a gamer, so I like to think in terms of a video game, but I think everyone's playing life on like level 1 of Tetris. If you think about that, if you do that long enough, it starts to get boring. But if you do that even longer, it's almost gonna feel like torture. Like nothing's gonna, like you fit in the blocks the right way, one level, but like it's too easy. There's no challenge. There's no sense of accomplishment. There's no challenge or difficulty or anything to keep you engaged. So I think that's kind of like one of the main things that we offer here. When you do something that's hard, like jiu-jitsu, like you get, like sometimes we're here at our open mats or sparring for an hour straight, and like, I've been doing this for over 15 years, and there's still training sessions that I have where I want to stop roll and that I want to quit, I don't want to come in, and so I still have to put myself, through those sessions. There's like a submission that I'm caught in or a position that I'm caught in, like for me, I'm a competitor too, so sometimes like I'll like want to like quit in a competition, or I sign up for a competition, or maybe I won't show up. Like I still put myself through things that terrify me, that make me want to quit and make me go through discomfort. But when you get done with that, or like, maybe if you're like one of the newer students, like the technique that you're struggling with, you finally get it down. Maybe it's someone that you're rolling with, you're finally able to like not get tapped. Maybe you're finally able to get a sweep on them. You're finally able to get a submission on them. Maybe the first time you do a competition, first time you do well, first time you get a win, first time you get a submission, like all these milestones, first time you get promoted, the amount of like pain, the amount of adversity and discomfort that you go to get to that point is what makes that so, like that feeling that just feels so good, so accomplished. I would say that jiu-jitsu acts as like an amplifier for life enjoyment. And I would also argue that competition amplifies that even further. Some of my favorite moments in jiu-jitsu probably aren't what you think they're gonna be. It's not necessarily like getting my hand raised at like some of the biggest tournaments, or like getting like a $5,000 like gigantic check. Like don't get me wrong, like those are all awesome moments, but I would say some of my favorite moments are after the tournament is over and getting to enjoy a meal with my team. Some of the travel tournaments, like with my guy Alan, we went to like Cancun, we've gone to LA, we've gone to Texas,
It's going down.
and just being with the team afterwards and just having such a good time. And like I was saying earlier about how jiu-jitsu acts like as a life enjoyment amplifier, I think it also acts as an amplifier for like team bonding and like feeling of like brotherhood or sisterhood. But yeah, just going through those difficulties and those struggles, now you're doing that with other people. That's like what builds like really strong bonds and friendships. So like, yeah, I guess another one of the benefits would be like community and like friends. Like everyone in my social circle now, like 15 years later, like outside of like my close family, like they all are like related to jiu-jitsu at some point. And like just the amount of trust that I have for like my teammates and stuff like that. Like I'll leave like a checkbook around, like I could leave $1,000 out. Like I know that the dude that I like train with after open mat, like, day after day, like he's not gonna do me wrong. Jiu-jitsu's helped me physically. It's helped me lose, close to 80 pounds. I've always struggled with my weight. It's been a family issue. Like everyone, you know, all of the men in my family, you know, they're all heavy set. So, you know, like it's in our DNA, it's in our genetics. But yeah, jiu-jitsu has helped me lose the weight and keep the weight off. Like I've had some success dropping weight before I found jiu-jitsu, but I always gained the weight back. I would say like the main thing that separates jiu-jitsu when it comes to like as like a fitness asset is like compared to like weightlifting or running. Like I find that most people, especially people that are like, you know, out of shape when they're like looking for the solution, oftentimes you can pretty much lose weight doing like whatever, you know, any physical activity plus eating right, you're gonna lose weight. But the thing that makes a lot of the other things, in my opinion, not as effective as jiu-jitsu, at least for me, is that I don't enjoy lifting weights. I don't enjoy running. So when I'm just chasing that number on the scale, like it takes way more discipline. And usually at some point, you know, you just get lazy, you don't want to go in, especially like maybe having an off day and like the scale's not like matching up with where you want. Like that could be enough to like kill your motivation. Whereas jiu-jitsu, the weight loss and the fitness, it's a byproduct. Like I don't care if I'm losing weight. I'm not gonna stop. Like if for some reason like jiu-jitsu like made me fatter, I'd probably still do it. That's just how much I love jiu-jitsu. But it also just happens to be a good workout. And then as far as like the motion, you know, I was talking about it earlier as far as like the benefits, but like, you know, like I've had probably like one of my most intense moments is when I traveled to Brazil for ADCC. And I'm like wearing this like ridiculous getup, like my big red leggings, my big red rash guard out there, and the Brazilians are chanting something rojo, like something and I found out later that they were all chanting Hudolfo was going to kill you. So like I went into this like stadium and I fought this one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world while everyone in the stadium was chanting against me, saying that he was gonna murder me. I got my ass beat. I still lost. But like when you go through something like that, well, number one, like it was an ass beating. But like after you lose like that, like losing at a game of like I see people, they like lose a game of ping pong or like table tennis or something like that, and they like freak out. So like when you go through these things again that I feel like are life amplifiers, like other things aren't a big deal. And the same thing comes for pressure. Like that shit was so scary. That was terrifying. So like now, like things that I would say normal people find terrifying, like, you know, making a video like this, talking in front of people, things that I think people get like afraid of and like hold them back in life. Like there's no sweat for me, you know, after doing jiu-jitsu. You know, having the confidence, you know, first through being good at jiu-jitsu, then competing, you know, gave me the confidence to teach classes. You know, then I got confidence from teaching the classes, getting positive feedback. So, you know, I started getting comfortable, you know, talking in public settings. But yeah, I mean, I feel like before jiu-jitsu, I was overweight, I was depressed, I had no confidence, and definitely like I wasn't able to like talk to women or anything like that. And I feel like just like through having some success with jiu-jitsu, it gave me confidence. So probably like the number one benefit and lesson that I've learned from jiu-jitsu that is what gives me my confidence is knowing that I can do something and not necessarily be good at it, something as challenging as jiu-jitsu, and as long as I'm willing to pay the price, which is, you know, the time, the effort, that I can get good at anything, as long as I'm willing to like work for it and do what's required of it to get better. So that can apply to anything. Like if I know I'm not going to be a doctor, but that's because I don't want to become a doctor. I'm not willing to go through the school. But you can apply that to anything. But yeah, getting good at hard things through practice over time will give you confidence. You know, jiu-jitsu's helped me out in a lot of different ways. You know, it's you know, giving me confidence, it's giving me my career. It's helped me like drop like almost like 80 pounds. You know, so it's definitely like changed my life, if not saved my life. So as far as like the atmosphere goes, I know that some people, you know, want to compete, and I want to help the competitors, but I know other people are, you know, everyone's looking for their own thing, whether it's like to find like a positive community to be a part of, to lose weight, self-defense. I just want everyone that's interested to have the opportunity to, you know, have their life change for the better through jiu-jitsu. So, you know, whatever your goals are, I want to help you. And yeah, just be super welcoming and give everyone the opportunity to experience, you know, some of the benefits that I've gotten.
Okay, my name's Nicholas Kirkson. I'm from here in San Mateo, California, raised in the Bay Area, and I've been training since like late 2019, around November, December. So 3 to 4 years, something like that. Yeah. I like the problem solving of it, like how you roll with someone and then you have like certain problems with them and then you kind of like work it out in your head and do things like that. I feel like it's more mental than just straight physical, which I like. So it's like the perfect mix of both to me. Well, physically it helps me like stay in shape, you know, it's good for keeping weight down. You burn a lot of calories. And then mentally, I think just like working through problems, you can use that, like use it in jiu-jitsu, you can use it in life as well. So it's kind of helped me like with a lot of problem solving skills, I would say, definitely. Yeah.
The physical aspect and just like the mental aspect, just like mixing in together. Like a lot of people say it's like a game of chess. I mean, I've never played chess, but I kind of get the idea. Like you kind of set up traps for someone and you want them to walk into it, or like they set up a trap for you and you walk into it and you just like, it's a big back and forth, and the more you learn, the more interesting, the more deep each match gets. Just like not giving up for sure, just like, you know, you just like hit those lows where like maybe for like a whole month you're like coming in every day and just like nothing's working out. You're like, you're the nail in the hammer situation like for a whole month, but you just gotta push through it, because like the way I think about it is your brain's trying to like work with your body to like get what you have in your head like mixed in like together. So it's just like a hard point in like your journey, and you just gotta get over that like plateau. For sure, like the social aspect, just like seeing the same people every day or like new people, and like it's weird because it's like a intense and like intimate situation, because like you're just one-on-one rolling with each person, but it's weird because like they're caring for you, but at the same time they're trying to like kill you. It's like a weird mix, and like I guess like everything beyond like this room is like pretty simple. Like when you think about it, like no one else is trying to kill you in real life for the most part, and you're just like, the rest of your day is pretty chill compared to this. Yeah, just discipline, consistency for sure. Just like not giving up hope when like just like it feels like you're not making any progress. I like this one quote where it's like it's I don't know the exact quote, but it's like nothing's changing, and then all of a sudden everything changes, and you're just like, big ass realizations just hit you. And this has like changed my like view on like the world completely.
When I started in college, I had a really bad injury that prevented me from ever being able to play for the soccer team. I had made it on as a walk-on, and the week after I had already made the team, I actually tore my hamstring, so I was never actually able to play. And eventually I probably could have worked my way back, but I kind of went through a cycle of depression after that. And Jiu-Jitsu definitely helped lift my spirits up and kind of relit a fire under me. Also now I'm a youth soccer coach, so a lot of the lessons I learned here, especially through gives me better perspective to work with the kids, especially when I see certain kids struggling with certain things, just to not get too frustrated, not get too low on yourself. The same conversations I have with myself, I try to have with them, and it's coming from a genuine place. And I think they can sense that, they can feel that when I'm speaking to them. It was, well, I definitely enjoyed just the grappling aspect of it since I was a wrestler. but it was also just overcoming that sense of failure. Going into a class knowing that it's not going to go well for me. I'm probably going to struggle. In some situations, guys that are smaller, even younger than me, they're able to dominate me. But just being okay with that and knowing that within due time, I'm going to improve and I'll be able to hold my own eventually. And I feel like that aspect carries over to other things in my life as well. So that was the main thing that really brought me to it. To me, I don't really meditate, but to me, jiu-jitsu is probably the closest I ever get to meditation. You have to be completely focused on the task at hand. Yeah, it's definitely a meditative experience. And after, there's a sense of relaxation, there's a sense of almost like bliss, I would say. It's nothing like it. I enjoy it more than anything else. Nothing I'd rather be doing.
Something very appealing about choking people and breaking their limbs. I think we evolved to do that naturally. Yeah, it's a great experience. Couldn't imagine my life without it now. Well, these people, community is a big factor for everything in life that you do, and you want to stay productive at and absorb almost effortlessly. There's things you gotta work hard on, and there are things that you don't really necessarily require a lot of effort to do. But Jiu-Jitsu is something that combines both, right? The community aspect keeps you going, and it's fun to exert this effort. And I'm not gonna say these people are family, because only family is family, but they're the next thing to family to me. Thank you for saying things like that, you know, my narcissistic me is coming out right now. But to be quite honest, you gotta learn from the best. So you have to put in the time, volume. One thing is volume for everything you do in life, but the other thing is you gotta learn from the best. Don't learn from online Blue Belt University, okay? Come and check out Alan Sanchez over here. Adam Big Red Sachnoff over there. There's a few guys black belts on the mats today. Learn from the best.
One, for sure, the community, the people I meet here. Like I said, I've been here 8 years, and coming here is like one of the best things, especially open mat, when you see everybody from different parts of the Bay, right? We get Oakland, we get San Jose, we get Daly City, we get Walnut Creek, we get Oakley now, and so it's just cool to see like all the OGs kind of come. So the community for sure, and now that I'm actually a parent of 2 kids, and before I was training all the time, and now I'm just trying to keep up with the young cats and the black belts. And it's cool because something like my family from SoCal, and this has helped me build a community of like parents, and I thought that's really important. So coming on here, another thing is confidence. I also like to I walk around feeling good, like I can, one, protect myself, my family. I don't have an ego, right? Check it at the door. And yeah, so like jiu-jitsu brings a lot of that aspect, being disciplined, trying to be better. I'm like, now that I'm getting older, trying to stretch more, eat better. So jiu-jitsu makes you start thinking of the lifestyle you want to have, which is like, overall being healthier, being mentally available, and being aware of like what you need. And jiu-jitsu, it refills the soul, like coming in here, like I said, Sundays, Wednesdays, Mondays, whenever I can, and it's a bunch of killers trying to strangle each other, break each other's limbs, and at the end of the day, it's just you slap hands, you bump fists, you get some good rounds in, and afterwards you just you show love, and then you go on to the next person. So jiu-jitsu has a lot of meaning for that for me, and like I said, I've been here 8 years. It's crazy to think about it, and yeah, I continue wanting to come to San Mateo because, like, one, everybody here is so friendly, polite, welcoming, and if you want to come down here, we're more than welcome to have you in our space. So yeah, jiu-jitsu has been a big part of my life, and if you're interested in doing it, I would suggest it.
I think the biggest thing is just seeing value and skill build over time, being consistent with your efforts. came in, I was an athlete most of my life, and then, as I got into adulthood, started my career, and then I found jiu-jitsu a little bit later. And immediately when I came in, I felt like I was at home with a lot of like-minded people. But what I found is that you don't have like early success, so you just, maybe you're not really good coming in right off the bat, but you keep coming back, and your teammates keep showing up, and you can depend on them to be there. Then you're going to be there. Then you'll show up as well. You do your part, and consistency over time, you get better. And then that's how you build things of real value. Whether it's friendships, skills, whether it's your career, personal life, investments. Everything is done with consistency over time, and that's the motto here at San Mateo. And I spent like 4 years training here consistently, and then I went to other gyms, for about 3.5, 4 years, and then I came back, right? And this is one of the top gyms that I've ever trained with. Really, a lot of skill in this room, and it's home, right? And the guys that I came up training with, telling me to, train hard and be consistent, those guys are still on the mats, and they're really good, right? So, yeah, it feels like home here, and really a family environment as well. It's skill, so.
So it was actually one of my friends who was into MMA who first was like, hey Frank, I think you'd be really interested in jiu-jitsu and grappling. And at the time he'd been teaching a little bit of boxing to me. And I think like this was back in 2017, and so he was like, I'm gonna look for like a no-gi jiu-jitsu gym. Do you wanna come? And I was like, sure, but I think like in my head I had doubts because I think like at the time I didn't really like people touching me. I think there's a certain discomfort that you have to get over, especially in the grappling sport, when you first begin, especially if you've never like been in combat or fought with someone. And so like I think I was a little hesitant because of that, but I went to my first class and I loved it for different reasons back then, and then as I sort of like went into the rabbit hole, those reasons started to change. I think initially when I first started, it was a lot of the community aspect. It was like a way for me to hang out with my existing friends, but also to make new ones. And like prior to doing jiu-jitsu, I was part of the b-boying scene a lot. And I think like similarly, there's like this language that everyone speaks. So whether it's like b-boying, whether it's the language of jiu-jitsu, there's a common language that you're speaking with everybody in the room. And so there's this community aspect. And so I think in the early stages, it's like, if the community is really strong, you make new friends, it's a social activity, but then like, as I kept training more and more, I think like, on top of the community, there was also this aspect of diving deeper into the art itself. And so I'm thinking more about like, problem solving, strategy, working on different parts of my game, and I think both play into kind of like the longevity for me at least. I think it's pretty much helps you on every spectrum. I think like physically it will test you, just like end range mobility, physicality, especially if you're competing. Like even if you do local competitions, like everyone is pretty much on their game. So it's like you'll need to get fit, you'll need to game play out a strategy. I think mentally it is kind of like a very zen-like sport for me. It makes me quite calm, but also like it offers the opportunity constantly to be solving problems. Like when you first start off in jiu-jitsu, everything that everyone does just seems like magic, seems like wizardry almost. And then you discover through like months and years of practice that it's just like a way of thinking and a way of approaching certain problems that you discover in the training room. Like there's a reason why certain things work and certain things don't. So yeah, there's that sort of like mental challenge, there's the physical challenge, and then I guess like spiritually there's also it just like helps me get into flow state better than any kind of other activity, just because it's so involved. Kind of knocks you into the present. You can't really be thinking about anything else when someone's kind of like trying to choke you or take your back or something like that. So hits a lot of points for me.
I really don't know where I'd be without jiu-jitsu. And not only jiu-jitsu, but the guys here specifically at Adam's gym, Adam, Alan, all the black belts here that's been here since the beginning, really just inspired me to be the best version. And yeah, I can't thank them enough. Went through ups and downs, and still this place was the motto here is stay consistent. So if you're going through ups and downs, the highs and the lows, just stay consistent. You know, you win the big ones, you lose the big ones, just come in and stay consistent was always the motto. So stuck by that. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost like 16, 17 years now. And I love every day of it. I've opened my new gym, and I couldn't do it without Adam's support, Alan's support, the gym support, and Eddie Bravo too. Such a role models everywhere in 10th Planet. There's role models everywhere, and that's just what jiu-jitsu's done for me. It's just showed me what role models are supposed to be in the community, and now has allowed me to be a role model in the community. And I'm just so grateful and thankful for every day and being on the mats. So.
That's where I first started training, like 10 years ago, and like first day right away, I immediately loved jiu-jitsu. So I was like, I want to do this forever, and I just never left there, right? So I always like really enjoyed the community, really enjoyed the vibe, the high-level instruction, high-level roles, you know, good people visiting, the good community where you could go and visit, you know, the other 10th Planet gyms. And so, yeah, it's always been you know, really good community, really good environment for training and just getting better at jiu-jitsu and just getting better off the mats too. You know, it's been yeah, super grateful for it. For me, it just provided like a good sense of focus, you know, a good thing to put my energy towards that helps me, helps others. Jiu-jitsu is like the first thing for me that I think I just kind of got obsessed with it, and I feel like it took me places. It took me all over the world. All of my best friends, you know, I kind of have them from jiu-jitsu. So yeah, and even like, you know, today I'm like living life through jiu-jitsu. Like that's how I make a living. And so yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything else. You know, it's I'm super blessed to have found jiu-jitsu in my life for sure.
I think to encourage people to do jiu-jitsu, I think a lot of the things, first of all, that people say about jiu-jitsu are true. I think a lot of people would expect me to say, oh, they're wrong, you know. No, a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms, you go in there and it cannot be a fun time. There's really strict, more Brazilian-style gyms where they kind of yell at people or they yell at you for being late. If that's what you need in your life, if you need discipline, those have their place and value. I would say go try 3 jiu-jitsu gyms. If you live in any major city or even a you know, small, mid-sized city, you're gonna have 2 or 3 jiu-jitsu gyms. Go pop in at every one. Find the vibe that you like and then go train there. There are jiu-jitsu gyms that are super fun. You do have to find them and hunt them out. Once you go into that gym, the vibe is totally different. People laughing right now, having a good time. You know, it's a way different vibe than some of the other gyms I've been in. So that's the key thing, because once you go into one of those gyms, it's a really, really fun time.
I would say don't be intimidated. Everybody here started at some point, and most people were choked out of their minds for the first year. So if you can survive the first day, that means you can survive the first week, and that means you can survive the first month, and that means you can survive the first year, and that means you can get to black belt in 10 years.
Do what I did. I brought a buddy. So like someone who might even has like maybe like 1 or 2 weeks more experience than you to kind of like come with you to train. And this is actually something I've done with like talking to people about jiu-jitsu who have never done combat sports. I'm like, if you ever want to try a class, just like text me or call me, and I will personally show up with you to your like first day with you. And I think like that really takes the nerves out of the situation, just because it's like, one, they don't have to worry about like, oh, who's my partner gonna be. It's like, I think a lot of the discomfort when I first started was just like, just being a little uncomfortable drilling and like being on my own. And I think like just having a buddy, like a buddy system, I think helps a lot. For those who don't have that, I would just say like, treat it as an experiment. I think treat it as an experiment, but stick with it for at least 30 days. I think like what happens is like people will go for a week and they're like, oh, this is just not for me. And I think like if you push past that, 2 to 3 week barrier, I feel like you will start to see the benefits, hopefully. So yeah, just kind of like run it as an experiment, bring a buddy, push through kind of like the suck for the first 30 days. Although like, I think here at 10th Planet, I think like experiment with different gyms as well. I think a good gym will not make the first 30 days like suck. Like it's kind of like a retention problem. Like if the gym kind of just throws you into the deep end with the sharks, like there's going to be like a certain very low percentage of people who end up on the other side. And so yeah, try gyms, bring a friend, have a little bit of grit just for like 30 days, and I think there's a lot of benefits on the other side.
I grew up with a bunch of friends that wrestle, and they always used to kick my ass. And when I started watching the UFC, I saw jiu-jitsu, and I was like, I want to learn that. And then I never went in. I was always kind of too scared to go in. And luckily something kicked in when I was like 19 years old, where I was like, just go. Just do shit that you're scared of, and I'm really glad I did.
Shit, just do it. Like there's, everything you like think of that's coming to your head is like, it's just an excuse in reality. Like there's no reason you shouldn't do it. Like it's not like you have to compete when you're doing jiu-jitsu. You could just be doing it for like your mental, your physical health. Like I honestly don't see really any negative to doing jiu-jitsu. Like if you tap early, you're not getting hurt. So really, like there's just a bunch of pluses to me.
And it's the number one, there's so many things, but I think the number one thing that stands out to me is the attention to detail in the teaching. Everything is so detail oriented. And then, of course, there's a great family atmosphere. Everyone's so welcoming. It's all positive vibes here. There's no egos. I'm not going to say no egos, because we all kind of have egos, but not in the unhealthy way, I guess, And yeah, it's a great welcoming community. Yeah, I love it here. It's a little further drive compared to other gyms. It's closer to my house, but it's 100% worth it every time. I never regret it.
Stop thinking about it. Just come in, start training. It'll change your life. I know you may have some hesitations or some concerns. People are like overweight, they're worried what other people are gonna think. They think they need to drop weight first. People are like worried that they're not gonna be good enough, that they're gonna be a burden. All I ask is that you give us your best effort, try to have a positive attitude, come in here and try it. As long as you're here and you're trying, that's what we're looking for. It's not about talent, it's not about being athletic. It's about putting in good effort. And now a lot of you guys will have excuses, and I just being honest, like whatever your excuse is, I'm not gonna buy it, because I've had people, say that it's too expensive or ask for discounts. I've seen people, with $1 million portfolios pull up with like $100,000 plus cars, ask for discounts. And then I've had other people come in on like food stamps, that are struggling, no questions asked, pay full price. I've had people tell me that, it's too far for them when they live like a 10-15 minute drive away. But I've had somebody with me for almost 5+ years that was commuting 2 hours there and then 2 hours back. So it was a 4-hour commute total, doing that twice a week with me for like years at a time. So when it comes to the excuse, whatever your excuse is, just know that somebody out there has it worse than you and they're making it happen. I don't want that to make you feel bad. I want you to understand that whatever's holding you back, it's in your head.